Hello, my name is Denise. Welcome back to my humble abode. Today I want to go ahead and introduce upcoming cozy games for all you fans of like romance, shipping, Otome games. So if you're really into that, you might be really interested in all the games that I'm about to show you today. I've been really interested in watching Korean dramas and reading Korean webcomics and just like getting back to my childhood hobbies. So I've been really excited to go ahead and find some upcoming like cozy romance games that I want to play, and I think you will really like as well. So make sure to go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoyed this video to see more content like this. Alrighty, let's get into the video. Salty Hounds is an open world dating simulation game where you find yourself taking charge of a struggling private security agency known as Salty Hounds after a series of strange events. As a manager of Salty Hounds, your goal is to earn money, manage your company, and gain the trust of the bodyguards. On the weekends, you can make your own plans and possibly pull off the perfect date with one of your handsome love interests. You enjoy a dynamic life in the modern open world city with a variety of places to explore and enjoy, including minigames. Each of the unique love interests has their own interests and their own schedule, so you'll see them roaming around as they traverse the city. Their level of affection towards you, their current condition, and more factors will change how they interact with you. Each of the love interests has different likes, dislikes, so make sure to find and treat items to get the best gift items to help you on your romantic journey. If you continue to date more than one partner, you might find yourself in a somewhat awkward situation, but other than that, the developers don't discourage you from pursuing love in multiple places. The primary goal of the game is to deliver a long-term romantic adventure that shows the characters falling in love gradually. As you deepen your relationship with your love interest, you will uncover their hidden story, which will force you to make choices that lead to one of the many grand endings the game has to offer. Currently, Salty Hounds is expected to release in December of 2022 in English and Korean on PC, Nintendo Switch, and mobile platforms. So what do you think about that game? Personally, I'm really excited about it, especially because the art is absolutely beautiful and it reminds me of like Korean webcomics and Korean dramas. So I'm really excited about that factor. But I'm also really excited about like the gameplay and how it's somewhat of like a life simulator, and you can kind of like control what you do in the entire world to formulate the perfect date with your love interest. And obviously all the guys are like super hot, so I'm very excited to go ahead and have some like butterflies while I'm playing it. That is like what I'm excited about. I always like squeal when I get really excited when I'm like reading like a romance novel or like reading a webcomics. I just love it. And fun fact, you can also receive phone calls from your love interest from time to time, so the voice acting is supremely good. Like butterflies in your stomach sort of good. So let me go ahead and show it to you really quick.
여보세요. 이런 새벽에 무슨 일입니까? 업무 얘기라면 내일 해도 될 텐데. 아니요, 자고 있던 건 아닙니다만.
Okay, I know that was like pretty good, but the next game is also pretty awesome. And if you like shipping and matchmaking, this game is for you. Love Ghostie is a wholesome dating sim where you are an adorable ghost matchmaker who helps grow the relationships between the mansion's residents. As a matchmaker, you will have plenty to do, such as give items to the mansion's residents to brighten their days, set them up on dates, and watch your ship sail as your love blooms. In this game, you can create any romance you want, since every single one of the 10 or more residents is shippable with every other resident, which means about 45 or more combinations of couples. While on your quest to help the residents find love, you can learn more about each character by sneakily reading through their diaries and giving them gifts to discover what they love most. As the residents that you match become closer, you'll unlock adorable relationship scenes. Each and every pair of residents has their own adorable and unique story. Love Ghostie has no official release date as of right now, but they're working on it, so please be patient and wishlist their game on Steam in the meantime. I think that Love Ghostie will definitely be one of my favorite games once it releases, because it looks very chill and charming, especially when you're like off work and you're like, okay, I don't want to deal with anything. I guess it's time to like relax. And I'm really excited to go ahead and learn about each of the characters within this game. There are so many characters in this game that you can like ship with other characters. So there's like a whole bunch of matches, and I'm just so excited to go ahead and see how they will interact with each other, because each of the characters have a very unique personality. I was like watching some of the TikToks from the developer, and she had a TikTok on some of the diary entries of each of the characters, and I'm gonna go ahead and show that to you right now so you can see what it's all about.
Introducing my game's characters by their diary entries, Part 2. Dear Diary, I tried to look tougher by spiking the hair on my bow. It just made me look like an icicle. Introducing my game's characters by their diary entries, Part 4. Dear Diary, I'm trying a new eyeliner today, but I'm worried that it's too bold. There will be quite the fallout. Boy, I'm nervous. I'm sorry.
So as you can see, the characters are super cute and wonderful. I'm so excited to go ahead and meet them when we get to go ahead and play the game. So even though I've seen only like little bits and pieces of this game, every single shot that I've seen of this game has brought a little smile to my face. So I'm very excited for this to release. So I know this video is all about upcoming romance games, but I think this next game is really funny. And I think all you romance lovers will love it just as much as I do. I Just Want to Be Single is an anti-dating sim where instead of making girlfriends, you make friends. You play as Aya, who is a timid, anxiety-ridden mess that wants to start fresh in your final year of high school at your new school. You really hope that with a new school and new people, making friends will definitely be a breeze this time. However, in a strange twist of fate, it turns out your new haircut is making everyone in class fall in love with you instead. How can you make new friends and friend zone all these cute girls that are looking for more than just friendship? In this game, you will have to balance your affection levels so that you can graduate with friends and make sure that you don't become too close with someone, which may result in them wanting more than friendship. Some of the features in this game include a love meter that keeps track of your affection with all the characters. The cast of characters include lesbian, bi, trans characters, and so much more. The art and soundtrack is inspired by mid-2000s anime and manga, mini games, lots of jokes, and multiple unique endings with a good pacing, so there's not a bunch of reading that you have to go through. There will be secrets, and you can even pet the dog. So there is currently no release date set as of right now. However, according to the Steam page, it'll be released when the developers are no longer broke. So go ahead and wish this game for now and let them know that their game is really cool. Even though this game is an anti-dating game, I definitely think it fits in with this video because the world is your oyster and you can date all the characters, or you can choose to not date anybody. So really you can do whatever you want within this game. But I really love the aspect where your goal is just make friends and friend zone literally everybody. So I think that definitely makes it very unique. I really appreciate the humor that this game has, and it really reminds me of like manga from when I was a kid from the early 2000s. This game does have a demo out, so you would like to go ahead and try it out. Make sure to go ahead and check it out over on Steam. I am a huge fan of farming games like Stardew Valley and Harvest Moon. They were like the pillars of my childhood and teenage years, I guess, and I absolutely love those games. So I'm really excited to go ahead and introduce this next game, which is heavily inspired by those two farming games. Peachleaf Valley Seeds of Love is a farming-inspired romance visual novel game that is heavily inspired by farming sim genre classics such as Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley, and many more, where you play as a young artist named Serafina who has lived her entire life in a superficial city. However, one day, without notice, she loses both her job and her home. With nowhere to go, she wanders through a farmer's market at a local park where she meets a kind elderly farmer who comes from a distant valley in the countryside, who hands her a flower and says, "You know, where I'm from, that flower there is usually given to people who leave on a journey, in a way to hope for prosperous new beginnings wherever they might find themselves." In the spur of the moment, Serafina decides to leave her old life behind and trek on a new adventure in a flower-filled valley. Serafina is a soft-spoken and shy person, but as she finds her place in her new home, she becomes more headstrong and passionate. There are 4 romanceable characters in the game, which include Jude, a quiet man who helps his grandparents run a bakery in Peachleaf; Skylar, a wealthy art collector who is a little bit dramatic; Hunter, a cheerful young farmer who works on his family's farm and is always ready to help anybody in need; Nadim, who is a mysterious and charming traveling dancer who lives at the inn and frequently puts on shows for the town. Besides those 4 romanceable characters, there are many more new faces that you can meet. Peachleaf Valley Seeds of Love will be released sometime this year in 2022 for PC. So what do you think about that game? I personally really love it. I think the art is absolutely beautiful and it looks incredibly polished for what they do have. Currently, they do have a free demo out, so you can go ahead and try it out. I haven't yet tried it out, but it looks super good and I'm excited to go ahead and check it out when I have some time. This game is heavily inspired by Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley. I'm really curious to see like what aspects they pull from Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley and that genre of like farming games and the differences that they do have from those games. If you enjoy enjoy watching fun shows where you follow a group of friends who are trying to make it in the big city with a catchy soundtrack in the background, then this next game might be your cup of tea. We Are OFK is a story-rich romance game where you follow the story of how the four friends came together to release their catchy debut music. This game is a making of the band series and interactive narrative series about dreaming, dating, and paying rent in Los Angeles. Towards the beginning of the game, you follow Itsumi Saito, who has just moved downtown and broke up with her long-term girlfriend and is now fully leaning into her dream of making it in music. Unfortunately, Itsu is struggling to establish herself in the cutthroat music scene of LA while balancing practice, friends, a brutal commute to the west side, and a full-time job. One night, she finds herself at a schmoozy Hollywood party after talking her way in and becomes friends with a rising music producer, which she sees as a chance to bring her dreams a little bit closer. This game has 5 episodes of the interactive animated series, 5 interactive music videos with debut tracks performed by OFK, fully voiced interactive dialogue from a star-studded cast, emotional texting, thirst texting, meme texting, and of course, emoji spamming. The cast of creators for OFK is incredibly established in the film industry, with some of their past projects being Toy Story 4, Steven Universe, Marvel's Spider-Man, Deathloop, Psychonauts 2, and so many more other established projects. We Are OFK will be released in summer of 2022 on PS4, PS5, PC, and the Nintendo Switch, so keep an eye out for it. So what do you think about that game? We Are OFK is actually a game that is promoting a virtual band called OFK. So it's really funny, but I absolutely love their music. Follow Unfollow has been the soundtrack of my life lately, so I've been playing that while I've been working, and it's just like really catchy. The singer has an angelic voice, like I must say, and I'm really excited to go ahead and play this game because there will be like more music that I guess we can listen to, and I'm really curious to see how the direction of this game will go and how the story will proceed, especially since this is based off of a real band, but not really. So I'm not really quite sure where like the start of the fiction and the actual reality comes into play. Maybe it's all fiction and some parts reality, but this game seems really cool, especially since it's a larger budget game with more of like a Netflix show kind of feeling. So I'm expecting a lot. So what do you think about those games? Let me know in the comments what you think about each of these games, and I'll see you in the next one.